Thanks for joining me. This is Christopher Lochhead, Follow Your Different. And as usual, we are sponsored by the good folks at Oracle NetSuite. Learn how to turbocharge the growth of your business today at netsuite.com/different. And while you're there, you will be able to set up a free 1-hour growth review with an expert in your industry. So check out netsuite.com/different today. On this episode, it's just you and me, and I'm going to get around to answering some questions. We haven't done a Q&A episode in quite some time, and frankly, when questions come in, I've just been answering them over email, but I thought, hey, why not do an episode? So that's exactly what we're going to do. So after the music, we're going to get to two questions. One, how do I know I should quit? And two, what about creative areas, creative fields in marketing, and how I can be successful in that regard? So as Joey Ramone said, hey ho, let's go. All right, question number one. Dear Christopher, thank you so much for your podcast. I love it. I work at a company that I think is beginning to fail at the category king game, and I'm not quite sure what should I do. How should I know when I should quit? Well, this is a question I actually get asked a lot, and here's the bottom line. For my first book, Play Bigger, we did a data science research project where we analyzed every venture-backed tech company founded in Silicon Valley from 2000 to 2015, and we tracked how they grew in value. That is to say, valuation for private companies and market cap for public companies. And then we asked the data a powerful question, and that question was, what percentage of the market cap goes to the category leader, the category queen or king? And it turns out that number is 76%. So what does that tell us? In business today, certainly in the tech world, and I think it's happening more and more outside of tech as well, just look around, we have a winner-take-all kind of game going on. And you want to be at that company, because if you're not, really life sucks. And here's the harsh reality. And, maybe no one will tell you this, but if you work at a company that doesn't matter, then you don't matter. You might recall that we had Andre Iguodala on the podcast not that long ago. He is a superstar on the Golden State Warriors basketball team, and he was actually the MVP of the NBA Finals a few years ago. And here's a very interesting thing about Andre. When he played for the 76ers, he was a starter and the superstar on the team. Now on the Warriors, he comes off the bench. That's right. A Finals MVP, megastar, comes off the bench because it's the right thing that Steve Kerr, the coach, thinks is for the team. And here's the aha in that for me. I would rather be the water boy on the Warriors than, the superstar on the shittiest team in the league. Because we learn so much by winning. And there's a halo effect that comes with being on a legendary team. I've been on a couple in my career, and those halos of being the category queen or king in your space and being a key person in the company really last forever. They certainly have for me. And so I would encourage you, the minute you think that your company can't win the category queen, category king game in your space, that's when you need to start looking. And the number one question I think to ask when you're considering a new company is, can this company design and dominate a giant category that matters? Can they get product, company, and category design right? Or as we like to say, prosecute the magic triangle. And can I make a material contribution to that happening? And that's sort of the headset I've tried to use over the years when evaluating companies to join or advise or invest in. So I hope that helps. All right, the next one is from Patrick. He says, hi, I'm Patrick, a 34-year-old Brazilian who listens to your podcast almost every single day. I've been seeking a goal for my career, which is to work with something that allows me to be creative. Nonetheless, it seems that most of the roles now have technical skills over creativity, even in the marketing realm. I work in a quantitative marketing consulting firm with little room for creation. And even friends that work in marketing agencies are disappointed with what goes on in there. So I'm writing to you, given your large experience as a CMO in one of the most creative regions on the planet. You are probably well positioned to help shed a light on this topic. What would you suggest to someone who wants to live off creative work? Do you know of any roles in which creativity is still a fundamental asset? Thank you so much for your attention. Well, thanks for your email, Patrick. So there's something very interesting going on here in marketing, and I think broadly in business. Data and technical skills are becoming increasingly important. That's a duh. And I think all of us in business want to get smart about how we use analytical skills, how we use data as a central part of our strategy. But the more important the analytics, the data, the research, and so forth becomes, there's a left brain, right brain thing going on. So, for example, I'm told by a handful of headhunters in Silicon Valley that category design is now the number one skill that CEOs are looking for when they're recruiting new CMOs. And category design, I think, is an interesting example of a skill set that is roughly 50-50, super creative and super analytical. I also think that's true in branding, web design, advertising, event marketing, and more. And so if you're a highly creative person, by all means, and that's really where I fall, of course, we need to get our analytical chops to a baseline where we can be successful, for sure. However, I would highly, highly recommend, Patrick, triple down on your creativity skills. The more people are analytical, the more demand ultimately there's going to be for people who can be strategic and creative. And it may very well be that you're at the wrong firm, or it may be that you're working in the wrong part of that firm. But people who can come up with big ideas in marketing, in business strategy, in branding, in design of all sorts, remember, those are the people who produce the breakthroughs. There is no way to research a breakthrough, and fundamentally that comes from being creative. So it may just be that you're positioned at the wrong firm or positioned in the wrong place in the wrong firm. Please don't give up on your creative skills, my brother. The world needs you. And by the effective use of both analytical capabilities and creative capabilities, I think that's where we can have exponential breakthroughs. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you so much for investing part of your time with me. I really do appreciate you listening to this podcast. And deepest apologies to Richard C. Kelly, chairman of Pacific Gas and Electric. Sorry, Dick, we just ran out of time for you. That's it, my friends. Until we meet again, follow your different.